Guys, Stephen here, Fanatic Perspective. It is Friday. Happy Friday to each and every one of you out there. Appreciate y'all tapping in. We are starting our rewatch series today. And, we're going to do our rewatch of the 2024 season, starting with Texas versus Colorado State. And just, something I kind of talked about on the channel few weeks back, and I think there was some interest there. So, if this is something we want to kind of do on Friday, I know everybody has their own process of rewatching the season before. We talk about it all the time and taking notes, but I figure we kind of do it as a community. So, before we get into it, and before I put the game up, you know, hit the like button, subscribe, support the channel. I don't know how this particular exercise is going to work. I've never done anything like this on this channel. I don't expect for this video necessarily to be monetized with the clips that I'm showing, but this is just for fun for us to gather here and get excited for the season, just watching ball, talking ball, but b takeaways. What can we learn as we go through this process of rewatching some of these games, and seeing the growth of our team, over the course of a season, the growth of our team with players that were maybe in more complementary roles now moving into more featured star roles. What is that going to look like as we go through this journey? Young freshmen in this game like Colin Simmons making his Texas debut, right? Think about that, the end of the season versus Ohio State, where he's arguably the best player on the entire football field, right? So just excited to go through this with you guys. Like I said, hit the like button. It's free to show love. Please subscribe. Trying my best, trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by August 30th. Texas versus Ohio State. We will continue to speak it here on this platform. It is going to take everyone's effort, including mine, very much so, to give y'all what you need. But appreciate the love and the help and getting to that. I'm not gonna have the sound because we'll just be talking. I'm gonna use Nash. Shout out to Nash Talk Texas. I'm gonna use his Texas Clips channel for this, which is condensed, no commercials, because we will be here all night if we don't do the condensed every play. Vanalisa, donations. I appreciate the most consistent donations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Before we even get into it, already getting some donations. So very, very grateful for that. But let me hop over to the other screen here and pop this on. So hopefully y'all can see that. Let's see. Hold on. Gotta make this work here real quick. I had my screen set up earlier, and then it got moved. Anyway, let me go ahead and play this. And we'll get into it. All right. Sorry, I had this thing set up beforehand, and now it's giving me some fun. I gotta recrop it. Give me a second, guys. I gotta recenter this thing so we can have it a little bit more organized. There you go. All right. I think that looks better. Let me see how it looks on here. All right. I think we can work with this. Sorry about that, chat. Like I said, first time I'm doing this. So we're just stick with me. Just stick with me. Hopefully, everybody can hear me okay. But let's get into it. Opening kickoff, Texas versus Colorado State, live rewatch. Matthew Golden. Boy, will we miss Matthew Golden. Boy, will we miss Matthew Golden. But what I will say is hopefully we have better return in special teams next year. I'm really, really hoping on that because Lord knows that was something that really bit us last season. Can't afford that, y'all. Can't afford that. So, but Matthew Golden will be missed. Opening kickoff. Quinn Ewers, a healthy Quinn Ewers here, right? Of course, we start with the swing pass to Jaden Blue. What was that? 15 yards. And I'll pause here and there, but just take a note, by the way, of how we start every freaking game. At least in the Quinn Ewers era, it's some sort of swing bubble, something very, very lateral at the line of scrimmage. And to me, hey, seeing the ball go in type concept, right? Getting an early completion for your quarterback. It's just really interesting. That was the first play of the season. Very, very nice play that we ran, right? And getting Jaden Blue out in space, chunk yardage. This was the OG starting lineup for 2024, right? Where, we actually started out in 11 personnel, right? With Isaiah Bond, Golden, who is that in the slot? DeAndre Moore, Gunnar Helmet tight end, and then the lone back in Jaden Blue, right? So another thing that's quite interesting, just kind of looking back at things. RPO to the outside. Isaiah Bond. Still in 11 personnel. The penalties. Got to clean up the penalties next year. What's up, David? What's up, Paxton? It will be great to have Cedric Baxter back. Inside run there, only 2 yards. We definitely want to get better there next season, right? At the line of scrimmage. Here, still an 11, but we go empty. That ball sailed, right? So that one right there, Gunnar Helm's open enough, right? So that one sailed. It's in the middle blitz. 3rd and 13, we don't pick it up. Now we have to punt. So opening drive of the year, we don't score. Michael Kern, that's a fine punt. That's inside the 10-yard line, right? So before we get to the defense, going back to that last, right, that third and 13, I do think this is an area just in terms of who's now at quarterback, right? Where I do think this is an area, even on some of these 3rd and longs, where we will see Arch maybe hang in there a little bit, right? I mean, there's not really a whole lot of pressure. Again, this is early in the season. Timing is not there yet. All of those things, right? Very, very early. First snap, timing's not there yet, but I mean, it's really only a 5-man pressure. I do think we will see Arch hang in there a little bit more with opportunities like that to let things develop downfield. But let's get to the defense. Good punt inside the 10. They try to start the game bubble screen to Torrey Horton, now member of the Seattle Seahawks, and look at Anthony Hill setting the tone. That's an All-American linebacker to come, folks. That's a dog on his way to come, folks. So Anthony Hill already setting the tone just off rip, right? And then, I know early in the season we were a little leaky with the defensive line. They get called for defensive holding, which is hilarious. But they set the tone early in the season. I mean, I said this, I remember this when watching this game. Colorado State, I felt like was scared money. And when you watch them, kind of play here, it's really, really indicative of the case. So that was actually a really good punt, all things considered, right? Like, dude's punting from the G in the end zone, right? Like, he's punting from the G, and look where this ball lands. That was also the beginning of the adventures of Silas Bolden, right? In the punt return game. God, I miss those days. Great contact balance there by Jaden Blue. Strong run. Hopefully, you can bring that to my Cowboys next year. Start getting cooking. Look at my offensive linemen start getting downfield, especially Cam Williams, right? Jake Majors. So we were, definitely more of an outside zone team. You see how they got out in space, and it marries up really well with Jaden Blue. And the thing is, by the way, I am getting back to my Cowboys content next season. That's number one. But or not next season, this season. When I meant to say next month, we are getting back to Cowboys content. But this drive, we kind of kick back into what I always say: when Sark doesn't score or he gets stuck in the 11, he always kind of kicks back into 12 personnel, right? Two tight ends. And so it's interesting. We go 12 personnel. Again, second drive of the game, getting lathered up, but now that we're getting a little bit more physical in the run game, running backs are breaking tackles now. Offensive linemen are getting downfield. Now we're getting into a rhythm. We're already on the right side of the 50. Even with that crazy punt they had, we're still great field position, right? So this is where we want to live all season, right? Play action, gunner helm, physicality, breaking tackles. This is also, I think as we go through this series, you start to see the NFL why guys went to, like, that's an NFL play by Gunnar Helm, right? The easy money touchdown. Wisner getting that carry. His first carry of the season was a touchdown. This is literally Trey Wisner's first carry of the season. Who's that? Hayden Connor on the pool. Easy money. Easy money. Now teams like this, we shouldn't have problem on goal line. It's the, come on, it's the other games where we have, the better opponents, right? Where we had trouble in goal line. So again, early in the year, back on defense, a little leaky. Now we can't be too critical because this game ended up being 52-0, but a little leaky early on, right? With our Fitz 6-yard run, Justin Marshall, who was a freshman at the time, I think he ended up finishing with 700 yards rushing on the year. He only had one more 100-yard game. He actually finished with 100 yards in this game, and then he had 100 yards in the Wyoming game, and that was it. Right? So got a little out leveraged out there, 6-yard run, 2nd and 4. Right? Then we gave up a big gap run. Look at Michael Taft laying wood. That was something else that we noticed in this game early on, right? Like, our secondary, when we did have some of those leakages, our secondary was going to come up and hit, whether it was Michael Taft, Makuba, all those guys. So right now they work Jalen Gill, but this is probably their best overall drive of the game, right? Where they actually crossed the 50. And then they started moving back. I think they ended up running 7 plays, right? Somehow he avoids a sack there, which, those are the type of plays is why we didn't have guys with 10 sacks last year. Ooh, tip drill. We almost had opportunity at interception. But plays like this, if we go to the second and 14 play, because we had a guy finish what? We had Colin Simmons finish with 9 sacks and then Ant Hill finished with 8 sacks. These are plays that like like that's a sack, right? That he just gets away, right? So if we want to have guys breaking that 10 sack threshold, they're gonna have to get there, right? But you seeing Colin Simmons work there on the right side, guys starting to get in, but scared money. Yeah, Nash has saved us with these. Shout out to Nash for sure. We live on these all year as we get ready throughout the week, rewatch games, especially trying to get through play by plays real quick. It's hard when it's 3 hours of film, um, and Lord knows we don't get access to the all 22. At least if you're not really really in the know or running exclusive content elsewhere. What is this? Now we're in what 21 personnel? Was that two back? Yep. Ryan Wingo. That was what his first catch as a Texas Longhorn, contested catch. This is the type of receiver. See, those are that right there. That's where we're going to need those bigger targets for Arch because Arch is gonna make more throws like this. Where that was kind of Quinn's fastball. Again, you're also seeing this is really the real few quarters of where Quinn was healthy, right? Where he actually this isn't a layer throw. This is he's throwing a contested throw, right? Those are darts. Even that one to Jonte Cook at the time. That was Jonte Cook's first catch. And then this one here, this isn't a dart, but I mean, it's a good on the rope throw. But when you have bigger guys like we're going to have Ryan Wingo, this is where I expect him to be very good. Using his body, shielding a defender, kind of that power forward concept, right? So now we're back in 11 personnel, just finding easy ways to get our athletes to football in space. I do not expect our screen game to go away. I know we were the screen game kings, and I know Arch is going to work downfield, but we have too many great options and too many athletes that we can get out in space not to be effective in screen next year, right? Trying to get the ball outside. Great job by Jaden Blue breaking tackles right there in space. The play before that, was ineffective. We didn't get the seal we wanted on the outside. Good vision, cutting it back upfield, getting what you can and breaking tackles. Still an 11. DeAndre Moore. Ooh. What happened here? What happened there? Why did we have all that pressure? Okay, so we had Campbell going out to seal. They sent another guy on the outside, so they sent five? They sent 5, which isn't crazy. So they just had one guy blitz from the outside. They're still playing zone behind it. Let's see. Quinn kind of steps up, but interesting. It's probably an opportunity for him to actually go the other way outside the pocket, just getting away from all that space. But coming back, 2nd and 15, made a good throw, cutting it in half. Empty screen. I mean, hopefully this is playing okay for you guys. Ooh, what? That was ugly. Not the screenplay, but the play of Campbell there. Or who was that? We've got to be better. And see, this is as we're getting into the red zone, right? We're getting beat at the line of scrimmage. That should have been a catch. That's the will route we lived on all year, right? Just didn't hold on to the football. Or did they rule that a catch? Would they roll that at the time? That was incomplete. Clean pocket. That see that right there. That the footwork stepping. Okay, let's go through the pick. All right, I forgot about this pick. That's why I'm glad we're doing this. I forgot about this interception. So we cannot have picks down here. We're already in scoring area right now, right? We have points right now. Shit, run. Even so, again, I understand he good job stepping up. He is looking downfield. His head is looking downfield. To be fair to Quinn, right now he doesn't like what he has. He's looking up. He's looking up, but the mechanics are bad because this freaking D lineman tips his arm because he's trying to throw from a weird arm slot in traffic. Then he stops his momentum. Look at this big Bubba over here. Who's this? 97? Big Bubba over here is able to get his arm on the guy. Is able to get his arm on the guy. So the he like just stops and then right. So that's just bad. That just wasn't good football. It's not good football, especially when you have points. But we're gonna keep it moving. I can't. I know he stopped at the line of scrimmage to be fair, but when you it actually created the turnover. like, I would rather him just kept going and not throw it. Oh boy. So let me address the super. Thank you for the super chat, Longhorn Football Edits. I appreciate it. Just add to the chip jar. Excited to see a healthy backfield this year with CJ and Clark for sure. We got a lot of guys in the backfield this year, folks. A lot of guys. I think we can think about the young freshmen that are there. Christian Clark coming back, CJ Baxter coming back. Good comment. A lot of options this year. Um, let's see. What's the limit of number of INTs that are acceptable for Arch? Amin's asking. Now, for me, it definitely depends on aggressiveness. I expect him to be over 10 interceptions. I'm just going to say that. Um, I mean, shit, Manning's throw picks. Even Peyton, when he was goaded, he would have 10 to 12 of them. And I do. The thing is, if it's a 33 touchdown passes to 12 picks, I'm cool with that. And if they're picks that are downfield, picks where you're being aggressive or your guy's fighting for the ball. I mean, John Gruden once said, and I believe this, there's a story for every interception. Shit, there's a story for every turnover. Everything has context, right? But what we can't have, like that pick right there on Quinn, there's going to be other picks that happen in the season that aren't on the quarterback. As we rewatch it and we look at it and we're like, either the receiver cut his route off, anything happened. But that pick right there, when we're in the scoring area, just not taking care of the football, right? And allowing tip passes and things of that sort. So context is going to matter in terms of how we grade turnovers and interceptions, for sure. Appreciate it. Donations. Well, let's get back to it because I gotta keep this thing running. Let's get back to it. Got Ethan Burke in the game. Who's that coming downhill? Derek Williams on the tackle. Colorado State was getting a little run game on, but in the pass game, hell no. And look at that. That's Colin Simmons out there, by the way. That was y'all saw that? You saw who made that tackle in space? Like he's a freaking safety? One of the best defensive players in the country. Whoa, almost got a pick there. Gavin Holmes quietly had a good year last year, folks. He wasn't bad last year. Thank you for the donations. That was just that was actually a good overall situation with the special teams there, right? That ended up paying off for us. So positive field position. Amari Nyblack, now Texas A&M's tight end one probably. All right, now we're moving. It's the second quarter. Positive field position, taking a shot. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Isaiah Bond when he was healthy. Quinn when he was healthy. That right there, that was a layer throw. And oh yeah, he dropped that one. But that was a great throw in terms of just the layer. I forgot Bond dropped that one. Let's see. It's interesting rewatching this back because I was at this game too. McDonald about to get the Aquina boost. Hell yeah. Juan Davis will be missed. All right. Ended up with 3. That was a tough one. So Bond did drop that one. So that was the chunk play we were supposed to get. Then had some negative plays there. Oof. Jermaine Lole making the tackle way downfield. That's tough. But we were finding our bearings in the run game defensively early on. But they were stout. David Benda, good tackle there. At least the tackling's not poor. It was more of the gaps that we were allowing. But guys were tackling sound, playing physical when they got to the football. Right there, David Benda again. So he made back-to-back plays to cause that 4th down. He had a really good year last year. Really, 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 really good year last year. That's how you want your running backs to run through the holes. The way the linebacker just ran through the hole. Another punt. Silas Bolden, let's rock. Nothing there. We got to get our return game going next year, folks. The 360. Tons of space. Matthew Golden. Beautiful. Juan Davis. Quick hitter into the flats. We will still, and that right there is another reason why I still temper expectations on how many catches people are going to have, because I still believe in our 2 tight end sets, right? Whether it's now Jack Injuries and Jordan Washington, like those are catches that are going to pile up. That's a staple of our offense, especially when we're running the football with mojo, right? When we're running the football like we want to, those play action hitters are still a staple of Sark's offense. Jaden Blue running physical there. Let's see. Wisner, outside zone. How much outside zone you guys think we'll run next year? You think we're still a full go outside zone team next year? Or do you think we may transition because of the offensive line, because of the personnel we have at running back coming back? Let me know in the comments. How do you guys think about all these, when we look the runs we were running, I mean, a lot of them were outside zone runs. Matthew Golden touchdown. That was one of Quinn's OMG throws. When you think about the angle there, where that guy is, it's a really nice throw. I know people don't realize how it's not bad for a 7th round pick. It's not bad. That's a really nice throw for a 7th round pick. Oh boy. Amen says Sark is who he is. Outside zone is here to stay. I would agree with that. Got Bill Norton, got a bunch of guys in the game. Jalen Gilbo actually led this game in tackles, believe it or not. Real physical game by him. Mo Blackwell, game speed. Look at that, forcing a fumble. Forcing a fumble that they just totally missed. Nasty work. Nasty work. I know y'all saw that, right? We all saw that, right? They just robbed my man of a whole ass turnover right there. Nasty work. I know y'all saw that. Vernon Broughton. They finally take a shot to their guy, and that's where our Thorpe Award winner comes in. I remember this play because I think we were in cover 3, and Jade Bear didn't have anybody on his side. He went all the way to up top to take the deep post from the other side. So he has nobody over there, and he just says, all right, screw it. I'm going to the other side, and just grabs it. Well, that was a predetermined throw, by the way. That was a very nasty throw. My man was like, I'm throwing this deep shot no matter what. That's crazy. But there was also pressure. But Jade Barron, that was the beginning of the campaign. That was the beginning right there. Play action. Ooh. Gotta catch those. Better not drop those on the Cowboys, Jaden. But we gave it back to him. There we did jet pass to Niblet, right? That was Ryan Niblet. Empty set. I also wonder how much empty set we'll see with Arch. I know Quinn liked empty. That was a nice play there with Bond, getting him in the rhythm. Quinn really able to hit his first read there. Didn't have to read a whole bunch. Wonder how much we'll see with Arch out of empty. Another touchdown. So now we're going up, 17-0 here? Great route running by Bond. Getting that release. Selling inside, getting back to the outside. Easy money. Yeah, that is a face mask. Look, that's neither here nor there, Dimple wondered. They missed a whole ass turnover on the drive before. My man Game Speed never got credit for his forced fumble like he should have. But we back on defense, standing on business. Defensive line starting to bow up a little bit. Scared money. He's shook. He just threw a pick. He's throwing behind checkdowns. He's got a back in there, number 33, who's slow as hell. Just nasty work. Vernon Broughton getting active. Vernon Brown getting active. Number 69, no shot in hell. Number 69 had number 69 got that work. Okay. He got that work. What we were doing back here on punt, adventures, baby. Adventures. See, this is when it got this is when I love Silas. I love Silas. He had the courage of 10,000 dragons back there. Matthew Golden was over there. I don't know what we were doing, but Silas don't care. He's here to. I don't know if we were trying to do the double reverse return thing or what, but that was a positive special teams play there, guys. Getting great field position. Look at that. We're starting at what, the 33-yard line. Quinn just missed. Is that a footwork problem there, or is it you just? I mean, even with the feet, like those. I mean, some of those misses are just frustrating. I mean, we should be in rhythm at this point. We're up 24-0. It's just lazy. Didn't step into it. How do y'all grade that? Can't miss those. 11 personnel. Try to get back in rhythm. Nice little dump off to Amari, who's now a Texas A&M Aggie. That Jaden Blue there. These are the runs. That run right there, those are the runs we want to have this year. And then Matthew Golden's second touchdown of the game. That was the no-look pass, right? That Quinn had, but which was also filthy. We'll get back to the no-look. But that run before to set this up, those are the type of runs. This is 4th and 1. It's 4th and 1. Those are the type of physical runs we want to be known for this year. That was Quinn showing off. That's the confident, Matthew Stafford-ish type stuff that is always there for Quinn. Always capable of. Always capable of. But Matthew Golden, one thing that he did was he lived in the end zone last year. So, dominating a team we should be dominating, and a team that was not awful. What was Colorado? What did they finish on the year? I know they won what? Finished 8-5. Colorado State team that finished 8-5. So, gave up another little leaky run there. But halftime 31-0. 31-0. Jay Norvell team in absolute hell right now. Now they're thinking about just getting up out of here healthy. Defense just didn't have. I mean, the thing is with the defense in this game was what they did get in terms of that was really attacking them. They took the ball away, right? Like the one deep throw. One other opportunity was a tip drill. They almost picked it off. I mean, the opportunities they did get, they had another turnover that they didn't get credit for. So, I mean, the defense is outside of some of these leaky runs, they're pitching just an amazing ball game. And, seeing guys like Anthony Hill make plays in the first half, guys like Colin Simmons, those are guys we're going to be counting on day one versus Ohio State. I can't wait to see Derek Williams back. I mean, Derek Williams, this is year 2 Derek Williams. He was flying. He was moving at a different speed too. Now I remember, I think the defensive line got talked to in the at halftime because people started getting off their blocks. Look at Barron Sorrell. This guy's throwing off his back foot. Gets the first down. Torrey Horton, but they get called for holding. It's on Sorrell, right? So it's crazy what activity will do for you. The guys, when you're making plays on the outside, Baron Sorrell makes a few plays on the outside. Now he's generating holding calls. David Benda, good wrap up tackle. Trying to seal this thing in there. Lole, I think that's Lole, or is that Tavea and it's either Lole and Bill Norton in there. Yeah, I remember they were just struggling to get off their blocks early in the year. That was a little frustrating. Trey Moore in the game now. Look at Anthony Hill. You're not crossing this freaking line. Anthony Hill's like, you're not crossing this line. You're not crossing this line, Torrey. Great rally. You got him again. Torrey Horton strong. Right there when they punted, the game was over, though. You think about that. Your team is down 31-0. You have the ball coming out in second half. I mean, the ball's in the middle of the field and they punt it on a 4th and 1. They were just trying to get out of here at that point. I mean, I understand. It's on. You're not across the 50. I get it, but that's what the 45-yard line. Yeah, one. I don't know. It's 31-0. Once you're putting there, if you can't get a yard to get yourself back in the football game, you're no longer concerned about trying to compete in the football game. You're concerned about the rest of your season. What are we in 12 here? Trying to establish. Just want to see our offensive line, what level of physicality they have this year. But pass pro is solid here, right? And just the opportunity, these are free access yards. This was the end around with Bond. Great job, Kelvin Banks, leading the way downfield. One of the best Longhorn players in my lifetime, Kelvin Banks. Team's just having fun right now. Pass pro still fine. Not that Colorado State had Kamara had left the year before. Wisner, good positive yard run. And I'm curious to see Wisner's usage over the year, right? Like kind of how that develops, Was this when Jarrett Gibson got in the game? Was that his first carry? Was that Jarrett Gibson's first carry? Sorry, I went back too far, guys. I apologize. I think that was Jarrett Gibson's first carry. Yeah, that was the Wisner run. That was the second carry. You're right. That was the second carry. He got back to back. I think he can make a leap similar to what Wisner did. I think people are sleeping on Jarrett Gibson. I mean, this young man, physical runner. I mean, that's his first touchdown as a Longhorn right there. I know that was a team effort. Don't get it twisted. Good block, Gunnar Helm on the seal. Don't get it twisted, but like that's a different level of physicality he's bringing with his pad level. It's just ball security. I mean, he's still a young boy, but his pad level. I mean, you saw him running behind his pads, y'all. Shit. $38-0. Now we're starting to work people in. Kobe Black's in the game. Rotating guys. Get there, Ethan. starting to do some boot. It was a nice little boot play on their side. It's one of their better plays they had. Good open field tackle by Makuba. That's the other thing. When they did complete a play, they really did do a good job of mitigating the yards, right? Like that was a good boot call that they ran, but they didn't. At years past, the safety would have missed that tackle, and next thing you know, the dude gets 20 more yards, right? Just keeping a good play instead of a great play, right? For the other team. That was almost a pick, and I want to see that type of confidence from Manny Muhammad next season, especially when somebody has a long release like that to the field. Go be aggressive, bro. That's the Manny Muhammad. And we look, he made. I think he's getting a little too much heat for the end of the last year because he did make some really valuable plays, especially in the Arizona State game in the Peach Bowl. I think he's getting a little too much flack, and that right there was a great play by Taft, by the way. That was fourth down. Yep, like I said, we're working people in. So Arch is now in here. So we're actually gonna get to watch who is now present day QB1. Look at everybody get nuts for Arch. Yeah, some of the questions were frustrating. I know. See, look, we're running boot. Look, Arch is moving a little different. Like we didn't. I I think we ran one boot play with Quinn in this game. Now Quinn, by the way, finished. Let me pull up his stats. What did he do? He had a good. Overall, it was a good game, and he cleaned. He really cleaned stuff up after that interception where he ran to the line of scrimmage and stopped and tried to sidearm. 20 of 27 for 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick for Quinn, and just took a sack. Right, we had the 1 sack, but a lot of that right was Quinn in the pocket, ball handling. You know, whether it's RPO or traditional play action fakes. But he was very, very much in between the hashes, right? In between the hashes. Archer's first throw of the season is outside. Yes, that was Jonte Cook on the catch. Yes, that was Jonte, right? But just the movement, right? Like, you know, that's outside the hash where he's rolling to. So just the movement of where we will relocate our pocket to will be interesting. Then we get Jared Gibson here. Yeah, I wish Jonte would have stayed patient, but everything can be crazy. Who was at center at this point? Let's look at the offensive line real quick. I know that was. I think Hayden Connor had actually taken over at center. Yeah, this is the play where he flipped it to Silas Bolden, right? Probably this play and the no look pass with Quinn were probably like the big highlight plays of this game, right? Like just an electric football player, right? And then, as you guys know, Arch is affiliated, 10 toes down wherever he goes. You got to let the people know. So 44-0, but just the juice, man. I mean, but also look at the team. I know some of these people are backups, but shit. Like a 44-0 game, they we get active. That's the juice I want to see him just like I know that he can bring this like it just seems fun, right? This is just creating. Like look at that play, right? Where he's stepping up. I know it's not the same thing, but look how he's moving, stepping up versus the play where Quinn stepped up and he got his arm hit and it was an interception. It's the athleticism. It's the athleticism. Same almost the same situation. But he's now, you see how he's able to take that lateral step to the right and just almost like a point guard and then toss it. Athletically, like that's just something he was just able to do. So, now having that from the guy that's your starting quarterback is going to be pretty cool, right? But again, he was in a backup role last year, still learning. I know a lot of people are going to say, "Well, why didn't he win the job, Steve?" All the annoying people like Steve Spurrier, blah blah blah. The same folks who will also forget about development, right? These are just natural skills, but Arch still had to learn a lot of things. And I think when we go back and watch the Monroe game, we will see why Arch wasn't yet the starter, right? And how he learned and ramped into the Mississippi State game. But just in terms of just natural movement, it is not deep. It's not deep. The guy came in and it was like complete mobile quarterback in the game. All right, we're almost toward the end here. Longhorn Football Edits, I appreciate the super chat. I don't know why, but Art seems like the type of dude that flips a switch after he gets hit once or twice. Um, I mean, that's a lot of, when they say, hey, you're, ball players, guys like that, you know, Arch might be one of those type of guys. We got to see. We got to see more though, but I definitely see where you're coming from. That was Steven Garcia at South Carolina, Raymond. I know you're talking about Jeff Garcia was in the league though, but that was Steven Garcia. Cook and Co. Appreciate it. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you, sir. Let me know if y'all enjoy this. We can do this every Friday until you know next Friday. I don't mind getting through these games. The rewatch series that we're doing here. So if you like this, hit the like button. Hold on, I'm missing snaps. Let's go back to the defense. I'm missing snaps. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this. All right, now they're just trying to get out of here. Great job, Leifau. Think he's going to be underrated. Yeah, we'll bring Trent in. Was that Warren Roberson? They got called for holding. Still a little leaky there, but they got called for holding. Who was that on? That was on Sadir Mitchell. When Sadir Mitchell was in the game, they called a holding. Do. Was that Leifau and Game Speed tackling together? Torrey Horton just couldn't get going in this game. 3rd and 15, no problem giving that up, right? Underneath, wrap up and tackle, punt. That's what happens when you handle your business on the early downs. Yeah, I do think we have a legit linebacker room. When you add Brad Spence from Arkansas into the mix, another year of Anthony Smith, that supporting cast around Ant Hill is going to be crazy. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Look at Ryan Wingo. Let's go back and see what happened there. Was that just straight RPO slant that we ran or glance route? Steven, what's up, Tucker? Torrey was a good player. Is a good player. Orbit motion, RPO glance, make plays. That should be that right there should be money for us next year, especially with Arch and his ability to be a run threat, right? Kind of keeping that defensive end honest. should create a better window for those type of throws. Great field position all game here. Jared Gibson running with physicality. Goosby's in the game. There's Jonte Cook again. I don't think anybody on that side on that play is on the football team anymore. I don't think anybody on that side is on the team anymore. Brandon Baker in the game. So, see, these are guys, get some snaps. Brandon Baker was in there. I don't know if anybody peeped that. Number 73. That's your starting right tackle this year, right? Over there on the right side, rocking the long sleeves. Right? Getting in there. Brandon Baker, first team all drip. Yeah, that's Brandon Baker. Those are both of your starting your left and right tackle are in the game. Your starting center's in the game, even though he's not playing center, he's playing right guard. Ooh, good tackle, Blackburn. Dirty man you are. Oh wow. See, that's the other thing. We could actually do a quarterback sneak with Arch. I don't think we ever were once successful with a quarterback sneak with Quinn to the point where we had to just get rid of it. I don't know. I don't understand why we couldn't do it, but we actually can do a quarterback sneak. That's like a traditional one. That's not even tush push. That's not even tush push. That's just the old school quarterback sneak. We never like all hell would break loose anytime we tried to do a sneak. You remember the sneak we tried to do in the Alabama game? That was almost disaster, if not for Jonathan Brooks. Man, it's just interesting to think about. Shout out to Nash for putting this together. Y'all make sure you subscribe. That's what we're using to just do this watch along or rewatch, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's a fun little exercise we can do to just kind of remember some things, right? Because I think sometimes we go off memory a little too much on narratives and haven't rewatched everything. So it's good to kind of get back to this and watch it together with you guys. Also learning some things. Yeah, I think the power running that we're going to have with this offensive line will be improved. I think it will take them a little time to get there from a pass protection perspective, but in terms of running, moving bodies, being more physical at the point of attack, I expect this group to be really solid, even or very early in the season. Colton Bassett's in the game now. Jordan Johnson rebels in. Xavier's in. Colin Simmons coming backside, making that tackle. He's just special. Even with all these guys out here, he's just coming in making some plays. Who made that tackle there? Who was that? Was that Brady Sarkeesian? We just got people out here now. Didn't Wardell Mack get a pick in this game? Or am I tripping? Or was that a different game? Oh boy. Oh boy. Silas. Brother Silas. Brother Silas. I told you it was a choose your own adventure. It was a choose your own adventure. But look, did that cost us? You know, however you want, in terms of making the difference on us not winning a national championship or anything like that. No, um, I did think that was something to come up and bite us. But Silas, Silas's heart was a net positive more than everything else. Colin Page in there, another RPO slant. Ryan Wingo was the dog we need to see next year. Got to hold on to the football. Think he's going to be improved there, of course. Hands-on man, being physical. This is when he just got here and he was just being an athlete. Just get on the field and be an athlete, son. Who was that? Ryan Niblett, Velton Gardner. He ended up getting hurt, right? He didn't finish the season. That was the transfer from SMU. Yeah, I think that brother ended up getting hurt. I don't remember him finishing the year. I want to see Neto get active next year, man, because he has the size and strength. I remember Sark getting pissed off about that throw to that was I think that was Parker Livingstone's only, maybe that was his only target of the season. Um, but I do remember Sark getting pissed off about that throw on 4th and 7 to Livingstone. I think Arch like kind of predetermined no matter what he was going there to throw it to his friend. Now we're in just preserve the shutout mode, right? Oh man, that's my man Darian Gillette. I wish he would have stayed. That's the one guy I wish he would have stayed. Darian Gillette's gonna be a football player. Where'd he go? Mississippi State? Chat? Where did my man Darian Gillette end up? Mississippi State, I think. They just got this guy in here just ooh, who fell down? Can't have guys falling down now. Yeah, I remember Rubel got that penalty. Straight preserve the shutout mode right now. Colin Page, white chocolate, Reggie Bush is nasty. Caught a horse collar on him. Wardell Max in the game. Wardell Mack. Yeah, I was right. He did get a pick in this game. I was right. I mean, this ball's going out of the end zone. It's a hell of a catch. That's a nice catch for a receiver. That ball's going out the back of the end zone. Yeah, but a hell of a start for this defense, right? Anytime you start the season like this with a shutout, I think we went what 6 quarters before Michigan even scored. Because when we do the Michigan game, I think it took a while for them to score too, if I recall. So, or at least without a touchdown. So, best formation in sports, victory formation. Good to see just come out and handle our business. Dominant win. First watch along we've done. So yeah, I'm glad we got to do that. And we will do that. Try to do that weekly. At least maybe that will just be our Friday thing. Um, Watching along and talking through it. Right. I got to go at pace because it will take forever if we rewind and break down every single play. But something like this, just to go through it, get a feel for the nature of our team, right? Again, where stuff started to come together for us early in the year, showing that dominance, the defense standing on business, the physicality, some of the things that they had to clean up early in the year with the league runs, right? But the open field tackling was obviously there. The playmaking with Jade Barron was there when given opportunity. Um, did they get tested a whole bunch in this game? No. Did Colorado State decide to just kind of punt on this game after that drive in the third quarter? Yes. But there's a lot of things we can still see and take away from a standpoint of just how guys are moving, how guys are flying around, what they're seeing, and playing with confidence. So, yeah, I think this went well for the first watch along. I mean, uh, you know, I'll try to make sure we have the template better next time. But this was really, really fun to do this with you guys. I really appreciate um, y'all watching with me. Yeah, fourth quarter, Michigan was the only touchdown allowed in the first two games. Yeah, so we were balling. We were balling, y'all. Anywho, appreciate the watch along. Next week is Michigan. Y'all tune back in. And remember, oh yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, the whole bit. Trying to get to 15K by what? Texas, Ohio State, August 30th. Just grateful for everybody that's coming through and getting to do this, having a little fun on Friday. So I'll be back for Sunday's Sunday service. Just a more traditional live, just talking ball there, having fun. And then we'll kick into our guest next week. Stay tuned on that because I do travel on Monday night for work. So the guest, I'm going to have to be a little flexible on the guest this week. But more to come on that as well. See you guys on Sunday. Remember, horns always up. Hook 'em.